the show, and I am never again looking at the show and saying, who are those goops? I can tell you, I now have a kindred spirit. My heart is pumping hard, and I know how they feel when those suitcases are open, and how good it feels to say, deal. This event demonstrates so much about the spirit of Western. You have a tremendous compassion, generosity, and caring about a community that not all of you are actually from when I look at the students who participate in this campaign. But it's just part of what makes Western, Western. And I also think that you are constantly living proof that it is possible to be all these wonderful things and still have a really good time. Because Western knows how to have fun. You'll have to forgive me because I'm not able to name everybody who worked so hard on this campaign, and we owe them an incredible debt of gratitude. It's just not, the list is way too long. But I do need to make mention of a few people. Dr. Paul Davenport, for his ongoing and committed leadership to us long after he stopped being the chair of the campaign. He's never stopped caring about us. Gary Blazak, who made time to come to those early morning campaign cabinet meetings. Ted Gerard, for continuing on our chair. He's also on the United Way Board of Canada board as well. I want to thank Jim Weese and Rosemary Lawrence-Pitt. We don't ever forget that you people actually have jobs besides what you do for the United Way, although we eat up enormous amounts of your time. And also, you've always sent us outstanding sponsored employees, and Jane Edwards was wonderful, and we loved having her with us. I want to thank all the donors, a tremendous amount of donors. I am so touched by people here. The staff, the students, the faculty, even your retirees participate. I would also be really remiss if I didn't thank the administration at Western for making it possible for people to work on the campaign. But also I want to thank the Faculty Association and the unions. We really appreciate your support and your commitment to the cause. At this time, I'd normally talk to you quite a bit about poverty in London, and that's actually what I had planned to do. But I think most of you are aware that there's a great deal of poverty. I mean, we had a city paper out this year that shows 1 in 6 people in this city can't make ends meet. That means they can't, as far as the city's concerned, they don't have the income to feed their families, clothe them, put a roof over their head, and pay the utility bills every month. It's a fact. And this gift you're giving us today may not end their poverty, but it goes a tremendous long way to helping us relieve how poverty can impact people by ensuring that they're in the kind of programs that can help them find new ways, new lives. But I want to sort of toss this speech aside because we have somebody very special today with us, and that's Heather Bartuk. Heather is a Western student at the Health Sciences Center here, and she's also a volunteer with the Epilepsy Support Center, and perhaps it would be nice for you to hear from somebody besides me about the kind of difference that you make in people's worlds. So thank you.
Get started with saying, on behalf of all the organizations receiving United Way funding, I would like to thank the University of Western Ontario for their generous support of the 2007 United Way campaign. Today I'm here speaking on behalf of the Epilepsy Support Center. The purpose of the Epilepsy Support Center is to provide support for individuals affected with epilepsy and to dispel the myths and stigma associated with this neurological disorder. 1 in 100 people have epilepsy, so that's 1% of the population. I happen to be one of those 1%. I've lived with epilepsy for the past 8 years. I know firsthand how important United Way funded community organizations are. Thanks to United Way funding, over the past year, the Epilepsy Support Center has provided support to over 1,100 individuals affected with epilepsy. They provided 67 educational outreach programs about epilepsy and seizure first aid. And also, this summer, we ran a camp for children with epilepsy who would not be able to take part in a recreational day camp experience. Camp was a fantastic experience, especially for me as a camp counselor. I was able to mentor children who had epilepsy, who sometimes think that they can't achieve or that their seizures hold them back. So one day at camp, one of the little girls said, "You have a medical alert bracelet? What's that for? Do you have a bee allergy, or are you allergic to peanuts?" And I said, "No, I have epilepsy just like you." And she said, "Really? You can be a camp counselor even if you have epilepsy?" And I said, "Of course you can." And she said, "And you go to university and you have epilepsy? Really?" And I said, "Yeah, of course you you can do anything you want to do. You can't let your seizures hold you back. And I think that was probably the most amazing experience for me, was the fact that I received support from the Epilepsy Support Center, but that I was also able to give back in the way that I was able to mentor the kids at camp and show them that your seizures can't hold you back and that you can do anything you want to do, and that people with epilepsy are just like anybody else. So once again, I'd like to thank you for your support of the 2007 United Way campaign, and please know that your donations will have a great impact on this community.
Heather, thank you for a first-hand account of an example of the important work that the United Way does. And I recall that the Epilepsy Support Center was one of those agencies I got to visit and learn firsthand about their programs and how important they are. So thank you for that first-hand testimony. You know, Helen mentioned how important the sponsored volunteers are and how year after year we get really outstanding people that come forward and volunteer. They volunteer to do this job. While she's standing in front of us with suitcase number 3 with the big number 7, would you join me in congratulating Jane Edwards for her job? So my goodness, another record-breaking campaign at Western. We can all be very, very proud of this result. And I want to thank all the people already thanked. First and foremost, Jim and Rosemary for the great work they've done, all the other volunteers at Western, Helen and all her team at the United Way, and a special thanks to the people who actually made this happen, the faculty, staff, and students at Western. It's our community of some 40,000 people, not just 5 or 10, who make this annual campaign such a success. And I want to make a special thank you to the groups that represent our faculty, staff, and students. It's their strong support for our efforts that communicate to their members how important this is to Western and to London. So thanks to all of our employee groups, our student associations, UAPA, UWASA, PMA, and the other labor groups, the USC and SOGS, you really do make a difference. I had the opportunity again during that year I was campaign chair to attend the Labor Appreciation Night of the United Way. And so much of the driving force behind the campaign in London comes from organized labor and from labor groups, and that's true on our campus too. So I know a number of the leaders are here today, and I thank each and every one of them. I want to remind the volunteers that we have a luncheon today at room 3320 in Somerville House. But otherwise, let me ask you to join once again in saluting Jim and Rosemary, Helen, and all the others who once again set a record for Western in our United Way campaign. Congratulations to all of us.